All right, well, I'm gonna get started now. I think everybody's here. I'm Max. I'm the treasurer for Embedded Security Club, and this is the MITRE ECTF 2025 informational meeting. So first, I'll tell you a little bit about our club. Kind of split in half into two different clubs. In the spring semester, this semester, we compete in MITRE's Embedded Capture the Flag. There's a prize of up to $10,000, and it's a world-renowned cybersecurity competition. Like professionals all in the field have heard of it. Like this is a great thing to put on your resume. You also have the chance to earn technical elective credit by competing. You have to put in more effort if you choose to take credit, but it's worth it. It helps you get your degree. And there's a lot of advanced technical skills, and you get practical training. And then the fall semester, a little more of a traditional club. We just kind of have meetings, talk about foundational security concepts and skills. We'll like provide you with projects. We're planning on creating our own ECTF right now. We're looking at like hacking a remote controlled car or something. And we're also going to host a careers in cybersecurity Q&A with industry professionals. And I'm gonna tell you a little bit more about that. So like I said, it's gonna have like professionals in the field. It's like people from Battelle, Chase. And if there's any specific roles that you're interested in, like reach out to me or Matt, our president, or Diego, and we'll try and reach out and get somebody who can be in your specific field that you can ask questions to. We're gonna have open like request panels, but that's next semester. Just keep that on your radar, even if you're not interested in the competition. And so now I'm going to go over executive board. Julia, she's one of our advisors. She's not here tonight, but Felix is our other advisor. He's from Sweden and Germany, and he came here to help us with encryption. This is Matt. He's our president, and Diego, our vice president. And then I'm Max, the treasurer. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about last year's competition so you can get an idea how this kind of works. So last year, we had to secure a medical device supply chain. And so this was the graphic of what it was. The host tools is your computer. You use it to communicate with the application processor. And then there were separate components. And so this is like something like a pacemaker or like anything in like medical. And then this is the breakout board that we used. And these are the boards. We're using these same boards this semester. They're MAX 7800s or 78000s, and they're a pretty powerful little board. Matt, if you do want to pass it around, be able to look at it. It's not a super interesting little board, but the competition, you have to maintain 5 functional requirements while creating your code. And so they give you an insecure example, which meets these functional requirements. And so last year's was to list components. So you'll be able to talk to the application processor. It'll tell you what components are connected to it, what their IDs are, and a bunch of information. You have to be able to test, which is just requesting patient data in this example, and that needs to be able to return that. You have to be able to replace components. You have to be able to boot up the device, and you obviously have to have a secure send and receive. But on top of those functional requirements that you have to keep and maintain, you have to meet security requirements. So we had 5 security requirements last year. The first two were kind of go hand in hand. It's component and AP validation. And so you don't want your device to run unless you've got a valid component. And so this would work by having a hash like key or something stored in your component, and your AP will only communicate with it if it is verified that that is a real component. Same thing where your component won't send sensitive data to a like fake application processor. Requirement 3 and 4 also kind of went hand in hand. It was PIN and token security and attestation data security. So requirement 3 was kind of your like basic password security. So if you need to attest, you want to use a PIN. You don't want that stored in plain text on your device because it's pretty easy to get into the memory of a device. And so you had to worry about learning how to hash and store passwords. And then the attestation data was an encryption problem. So you have to encrypt your data and store it on the board. And then you also have to be able to decrypt it because this data needs to be retrieved again. And so that's the idea behind requirement 4. And then requirement 5 was the most interesting one. It was learning how to do end-to-end encryption to prevent man-in-the-middle attacks. And so for this competition, if you see on like the breakout board, it was using I squared C. So you had to keep your clock secure. You have to keep your data secure. And there's a lot of challenges that come in with creating an I2C peripheral because it's constantly taking in data. And so it's a difficult communication method to secure. And now I'm going to talk about this year's competition. It's MITRE's 10th embedded capture the flag. So first thing I want to tell you about are the important dates to keep in mind. This Wednesday is the official kickoff of the competition. They are going to live stream it at noon. And if you join the Slack, the competition Slack, you can find the link to that live stream eventually. We will be meeting at 6 p.m. But if you're interested in watching the kickoff live and you're interested in the competition, I really recommend watching that kickoff. You get a lot of useful information. Thursday is the last day for credit. So if you want to take this class for credit, the last day is Thursday to come and talk to us. And then 31st, the last day you can join the competition. That's when individual registration closes. That's MITRE's hard deadline. The 26th is when the attack phase begins. It's when the fun stuff happens, which I'll get more into the design and attack phase. And then the competition officially ends April 16th. And then they'll have an award ceremony in Boston this year. You can apply for a travel scholarship. Do that earlier if you are really interested in going to the award ceremony. They've got a limited number. And it is during finals week, which is unfortunate, but no, it is the weekend. Like yeah. But now I'm going to talk more about like how the competition is actually going to work and be run. You earn points in three phases or three main ways. There's the design phase points, attack phase points, and miscellaneous points. You can earn miscellaneous points at any point throughout the competition. And the main way is through bug bounties. So they give out the insecure example, and it's not perfect. There are bugs in there. And if you're able to point them out and fix them and submit them through their bug bounty portal, our team will earn points. And it's like a good practice to get into of finding bug bounties and reporting them. And submissions during every stage of this competition are based on timeliness. So it's really important to meet your deadlines and stay on top of things. A little more about the design phase. There are design phase flags. So for example, the functional requirements of last year's design, each one of those, you got a design phase flag for meeting during the design process. And if you met your deadlines on your design phase flags, you get bonus points, or you get bonus points for earlier submissions. So you get rewarded for working harder. And this helps encourage iterative improvement. And you got to be really careful for details because flags will pop up somewhere. And these are huge in the competition to get ahead in the points on the leaderboard. But the big part of the competition is the attack phase. So in February, we're going to hand off our design to MITRE. They're going to put defensive flags onto our board that we need to secure through just developing a good, secure embedded system. And the longer our flags stay unattacked and a team hasn't claimed them, we get more points. And the moment a team takes a flag, it stops accruing points. And on the flip side of that, we also go on the offense and we earn points by capturing flags in enemy teams' designs. So for successfully getting a board to boot that shouldn't, you'd get 100 points for capturing that flag. The system will spit out a flag and it says, congratulations, you have called this command where it should not have been. And the attack phase is the biggest majority of points in this competition. So the earlier we as a team are able to get into the attack phase, the more points we'll have and a better chance of getting the prizes. So the first place team does get a grand prize of $10,000. $5,000 of that will go into club gifts and stuff. That's the most the university allows. The other $5,000 will go into running our ECTF if we win. Second place gets $5,000 and third place gets $2,500. There also are other awards that MITRE gives out. The first one is Best High School, which we can't win, but we could get Best Poster or the Responsible Disclosure Award. So Best Poster, throughout this process, you have to have a good documented design, and they want you to make a poster that explains why you made your decisions, what impact it had, the struggles you made along the way. So we'll need people who are creative and can make good posters. No, that's tough for computer science students, but there's also the Responsible Disclosure Award, and that's the team that finds the most bugs and reports them, because that's a huge part of being in cybersecurity. And so Carnegie Mellon wins that one about every year, but if we all really work, I'm sure we can get the Responsible Disclosure Award. And now earning credit for the club, it's pretty simple. You just need to enroll in CSE 4193. It's an individual study section. You get a choice of 1 to 3 credit hours. It lets you choose up to 5 in there, but you have a maximum of 3 credit hours. It's a pass-fail course, and we're going to do grades based off of effort and participation. One of those will be like, we're going to do biweekly stand-ups for the sub teams. If you do your biweekly stand-up and you show that you are putting effort towards this competition or making progress towards a secure design, you'll pass the class. And you have to attend weekly meetings equal to the number of credit hours taken. So if I take 1 credit hour, I have to go every Monday, if I can, to the full team meeting. If I take 2, I've got to make it to Wednesday or Thursday. If I take 3, I've got to go every meeting slot that we have. With that, here are our weekly meeting times. Like I said, on Mondays, yes, Felix.
Just to add to this, like I just talked to Julia today about the points you can take, and we came up with like 1 credit is 1 to 2 work hours per week.
Okay, yeah.
2 credits is 3 to 5 hours of work per week.
Okay.
That corresponds pretty much with what you said. And there is an additional requirement that you write a experience report at the end of the semester, corresponding to 1 page per credit. So if you want 2 credits, you have to write like a half
the maximum
semester.
2.
What?
Is the maximum 2 or 3 this year?
I think it's 2.
Okay, it's 2 credit hours for maximum.
So you can take 3, but
there's not much of an impact. It only applies to 2 credit hours on your transcript. So take 1 or 2 credit hours if you're going to take the credit. But yeah, so our weekly meetings on Mondays, we're going to meet in this room. And it's our full team meeting. It's the day that most people could make it. And like I said, we're going to do alternating sub-team stand-up. So every week, a couple sub-teams are going to stand up, maybe do a quick presentation. They're going to talk about what they've got done since their last stand-up, the challenges that they're facing, just like a typical stand-up. And this is like something that happens out in the real world a lot in programming, because working together as a team, you might have a bug that you get stuck on for those whole 2 weeks that somebody else can fix in one go. And so that's the idea of those stand-ups, is to keep you accountable and to get us to all work as one big team. But there's so many small tasks we're going to have to divide into sub-teams. Wednesdays, we're back in this room again, and these are going to be more like a work day. You'll work with your sub-teams. There will be cross-collaboration. You can always ask somebody for help on anything when anybody here. Happy to help you out. And then Thursdays, we're over in Baker Systems. Underwater Robotics has this room, so we had to make peace with them. But that's also going to be a sub-team meeting with like a work day. And if any of this did sound interesting to you, there are a couple of next steps to like get involved. This should take you to join our Discord, where we send out announcements and has most of our information. If you're already in there, perfect. If you haven't yet, please verify your email. You can't see anything in the Discord if you don't. You have to use your Buckeye Mail or your osu.edu email for that. If you're not an Ohio State student, we can talk to you about getting you involved in this club, but you should all be students here. And then in the link section of the Discord, there is a link. It's sent by Julia, and it's for individual participation registration. The sooner everybody gets signed up on that and everybody is on the Slack, the better we miter Slack, we can disseminate information better and get right off into this competition. And if you are taking credit for this class, stay after, or if you're interested, meet with me and Matt. We'll have to take down your name and the number of credit hours you're going to take, and we can help you get it added to your course. But for anybody that is interested, our kickoff is next meeting on Wednesday at 6 in here. And we're going to get off swinging. We're going to try and get as many of those design flags as we can. And yeah, I'm glad you all came. Does anybody have questions or things they want to know? Concerns?